All right, good morning, everybody. Day 12 of the live stream. Now streaming during the daytime for this morning session. Hopefully be done in about an hour. Get my 2 winners and I'm done. So we'll see how long that takes. We shall see. All right, so I'm going to switch over to the MES because with the MES I can better manage my risk. I like to manage my risk through position sizing, not where I put my stops. The reason why I can better manage my risk is because 1 or 2 contracts might be too far away from the profit targets I'm looking for. Okay, remove that P&L. That was from yesterday. So yesterday was an okay day. You know, if I would have stayed in the MES, I could have bought more contracts and been closer to the $1,000, $800 risk that I wanted to do. Today I'm looking to risk $1,000 per trade. Let's go over to my bracket orders. But I messed up my first order, and then my second order, same thing. I kind of fumbled the contract size, so I didn't make as much as I should have made yesterday. But at the same time, I actually made a mistake yesterday because I was looking at the NQ chart and trading the ES based on the NQ in the beginning. Had I been looking at the ES chart the entire time, I would have had a red day. So I got lucky yesterday. I got like a lucky green day. So it's pretty awesome when you can get one of those. What's coming up on the today? Today it looks like we got FOMC today at 1 o'clock. What else we got going on? And then what? I don't want to draw lines. I want to see what this is. FOMC press conference at 1:30. So it'll be 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, it looks like. I will be done trading by then. Won't affect me at all. Alright, so right now I'm looking for a long trade. We'll see when it sets up. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. And I'll be getting long in the MES. Alright, when it happens, I'll bring it to you. All right, so jumping over to my calculator that I'm using, and link in the description below if you are interested in this software. It's pretty awesome. It's got my backtest blocks, the trade calculator, my scaling ladders, all the stuff I use to build my strategy, manage my strategy, and all of that stuff. So that's in the description, link in the description below. So with MES, if I put 25 contracts, I believe my move today is going to be about 8-point move is what I'll be looking at. We'll see when it actually starts to set up. Looks like it might be setting up right now. So that'll be about $1,000 or 25 contracts because I was on the wrong time frame, traders. Almost messed that up. Almost messed up again. I'm on the 30 over here. Let's go to the 1 before it's too late. How much time do we got left? 32 seconds. Got 25 contracts I need to get. Man, I'm already off to a rough start again today. All right, this feels like a short trade, but I'm going to take it long because that's what I'm supposed to do. 25 contracts getting long in 12 seconds. You can't see it because of my Topstep, my other window. All right, it's, 5 seconds. Fumbling again today. All right, we're
Order
in.
filled.
We're in long. This candle retraces. I'm in trouble. 453 is my stop. 452, 453. All right, so I got my stop in. My target 465. I'll leave that there for now. Six. All right, so I'm almost risking one to make two, but by the time I get finished paying for my spread, it'll be a little closer to risking one to make 1.5, 1.8. All right, we'll see if we get stopped out here on a retrace of this candle. Hopefully not. Come on, ES, get up there. Risking $530 roughly to make 1,100. Should have bought more contracts. Because I was on my wrong time frame, I didn't get to calculate my actual risk on this trade. I could have bought more contracts. I could buy more right now, actually. Let's get, what, 10 more?
Order filled.
All right, got 10 more. So now I'm risking, I can't really see with my glasses. I need my new glasses. I can't find them. So I'm risking about $800 to make $1,500. That's more like it. And I'm going to move my target up so I could potentially squeeze some more out and trail my stop if I get lucky. Again, I'm in the retracement zone for my stop here, unfortunately, but that's where it's supposed to go, so I'm going to leave it there. So I could get stopped out and then watch this thing go without me. That's all right. That's what happens. That's what happens. I'm following the rules. Probabilities are based on the thing, and I'm going to do the thing. I could take 3 losers, and then I'm done for the day. Or at least 3 are. So if I have a winner, loser, winner, loser, winner, loser, I can do that all day long. But once I have 3, I've lost 3 R, then I'm out for the day. So if I'm risking $800 a trade, once I've lost $2,400, I'm out. And this evaluation rebuilds in a couple days, so I'd like to pass it and then before it rebuilds. So going a little bigger.
Order filled.
So there we go. First trade will be a loser, down $848. Waiting for this next trade, which might be setting up in just a second here, which will be a short trade. If this is going to break below this candle here, I'll be setting up for a short trade, and I'll be getting, actually, sorry, I'll be setting up for another long trade. So I'll be getting in long. So let's get another one of these long positions ready to go. $35 contracts, 36, 37, 35, 36. All right, so I got my contracts queued up. So we'll be good to go there. And then I got my little marker for a new long trade ready to go. If it's going to trigger. See, I was in the retracement zone of that candle. Anywhere inside the body of that candle, my stop is not really great. Be way better if my stop was low of day, you know, with some room, or below this candle, but the probabilities are based off of that's where my stop goes. So that's where my stop goes. We'll see if I'm going to regret it or not. But yeah, this can come down close below here. That will trigger a long trade. We'll see if it ends up being a loser. It's getting ready to trigger it right now. All right, so that's going to be triggering a long trade in 14 seconds. I'll be getting long. 10 seconds. Nope, it's not confirming. Confirming. What are you going to do? 3, 2, 1, long.
Order filled.
All right, so now I'm long, and I'm not prepared over here. Hopefully I can be fast. I'm a mess this morning, traders. That's what happens when you roll out of bed and you go right to the market. 74424 is my stop. 744, actually 744 even. All right, got my stop in. Target 457. 457.5. So now I'm risking one to make 1.5 roughly. If I end up getting out at that target. So risking about 900 to make 1400. Whoa. I want to be able to squeeze more out. All right, grab it, drag it up. Don't. Oh, did you miss it? I hope I didn't miss it. Push back up through there. Don't do it. And, oh no, ES. Well, almost recovered my trade, and I might be taking a second loser. That should be on mute, but I got to take that call here in just a second. Come on, get up here so I can take that call. Oh boy. Failing this morning, traders. I'm just failing. Again. Just like yesterday. Waiting for it to push through that target again. The trade's kind of dead because I hit my target. So maybe I should just take it off and say I'm recovered. But this looks great for a long trade. Like, this is an awesome trade, I think. I'll show you why in just a second. I could be wrong. Oh, I hit my target again. And it's just getting stuck. Just getting stuck, traders. Man, I feel like I'm going to regret not just taking this trade off. All right, let's push this up higher because we're building some energy. All right, so while we're waiting, so we had this downward move. We put a low in, we put a lower high. I think we're putting a higher low in for a higher high. That's just what I think. Let's go over to the 30-minute real quick. I'm probably gonna regret it. Let's see. So we had a big retrace already there, which is kind of scary. But look at this massive rejection off the bottom here. Huge rejection. So looking for this thing to retrace all the way back up again. But I don't want to get greedy. I need to move my stop up and take this profit. I might have regretted this. A clean push through here will help me out a lot. If it'll push through and just pause for 1 second. All right, traders, might be regretting this. All right. Come on, ES. Don't make me regret it. So my stop right now is a new low, but that's not because it's the new low. It's because that's where the probabilities tell me to put my stop based on my quadrant lines, which I showed you in my strategy video. If you haven't seen that, you can go over to the channel, my strategy video, or at the end, if you're watching the replay of this, it'll be in the end screen. I'll link on the end screen. Oh, I'm completely blowing. I'm so frustrated right now. All right, we're going to see if this little uptrend is going to hold this, what looks like it's going to be a low, a high, a higher low to a higher high. If it holds, I'll be good. I'll be getting lucky. I'll take luck. Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Right? We got this going on right now. All right, slowly making its way up. We got 15 minutes before the new 30-minute candle opens. It's too bad. If we only had a couple minutes left, that'd be awesome, because chances are the red candle we're in right now will have a nice retracement. And I'll easily get my target plus some bonus money. All right, it's going to give me a second chance. Whoa, look at it go. Oh, it's too slow. Too slow. Failing, traders. Too slow. I got some trader paralysis kicking in. All right, dropping it.
Order filled.
All right, so we're out. We're out, so now I'm up $500 in the day. Yes, I think this is going to boost higher. I think this is a good long trade. Got like a W pattern kind of setting up here as well. We got this little uptrend type setup moving here, looking for a higher high. I think we're going higher, but just because I think it doesn't mean we're gonna, so I stick to the probabilities. And I'll wait for my next trade, and then I'll bring it to you, which is actually going to be a short trade. If we push up above this, I'm going to take a short looking for a retrace of the move before going higher, and I'll take that retrace short. All right, let me update my P&L. All right, you can see my P&L up here, which is part of the Topstep X. You can see it up there, maybe, depending on what you're trading on. If you can't, that's why I put it down here in the corner. So if you're looking at it on a cell phone or something like that, it's easier for you to see. But up there you can see my P&L, you can see all the info. And then at the end of the video, I'll show you my account balance, all my account info and all that stuff. So you can follow along, track along, see that I'm not pulling your leg like I think most of these traders are on the tubes, are showing you one account one day, a different account the next day. They're faking everything to try to make themselves look like superstars, which I'm not trying to do. I'm just trying to show you the reality of my journey. And if I'm failing, then I'm failing. Sometimes I wonder if you guys like the failing videos better. I know a long time ago when I used to watch a lot of videos on the tubes, like from Ross Cameron over at Warrior Trader. I think he's got some awesome videos. I learned a lot more from watching him fail than I did watching him succeed. So I, didn't want him to fail, but I preferred those videos because I learned a lot more from them. Winning is a little easier to cope with than failing and getting on tilt and doing all that stuff. So I'm not worried about showing you videos of me failing. And if that means I'm blowing up accounts, well, then I'm blowing up accounts. All right, look at this sell-off happen now. I still think this thing's going to try to go higher, but right now I'm waiting for a new short trade to set up. It might not happen until a new 30-minute candle opens. We retrace that 30-minute candle, then it comes back down. Here, let's go look at the 30s. Retracing is huge. Just go back in the candles. It's funny because I've been talking about this for a year now, and I'm starting to hear other people on the tubes start talking about retracements, which I never heard people talking about before. But you can see, look, going back in time, how candles like to retrace. I look at like a halfway to a full retracement. Once it hits halfway, then and it starts to come back down, then I can feel pretty good that maybe it's going to continue lower. But if I get my switch after that retracement takes place, then it usually turns out to be a pretty nice trade. So we can see the 30-minute candles right here. Almost a head and shoulders showing up here. I mean, it could go either direction. I can make an argument for both ways. I just trade off my setups because I find trading to have a lot of confirmation bias in it and the subjective viewpoints. That's why you can have easily a trader to the long side and a trader to the short side at the same time because of those subjective viewpoints. So I like to create a system that has probabilities and you just trade those probabilities. And then I do my risk management through my position sizing. So based on my probabilities, let's say this was going to be a breakdown of a head and shoulders. And I was going to put my stop. Let's draw this up here real quick. Short. Let's say I was going to get in at the break of this right here. And my stop was going to be there because probabilities tell me that once it crosses this line, and I'm just making this up right now, so that don't trade this what I'm showing you. If probability is set up, once it crosses this line, chances are it's going to go up or it's going to go sideways or it's going to go all over the place. It's going to be like a 50-50 kind of thing. Then I'll put my stop right there. And then let's say probabilities say my target is going to be down here because more than 60% of the time that's where it goes. Let's just say, making it up. Well, that's nice. I have a risk one to make at least one, so not too bad. So if my stop is going to be here, and this is going to be my entry, then I can say, well, what is that spread there? That's like, I don't know, almost after, if I take into account the spread, some slippage, all that stuff, I'm going to say 50 points. And then I can go over here, and I can say in the MES, the risk right now is 50 points on my trade. I don't want to risk more than $1,000. So I can put my contracts in. So that's 4 contracts, risk me $1,000. All right, cool. So I can take 4 contracts of the MES. Then I can go back over. And I can queue up 4 contracts for my trade. And now when I get in, my risk will be that. And then if I haven't done it already, I can go over to my bracket order, click on my brackets, put my $1,000 in here, put my profit target in there. And now when I enter my order, if I enter exactly at that spot that we're starting to break right now, we'll see if I end up being right on this trade. When I enter there, to automatically put my stop somewhere close to here. And my target will be way down here somewhere because I have 2,000 there right now. And that's kind of how I do my risk management through position sizing based off of probabilities. Interesting. We'll see now that it's starting to break this. I wonder where it's going to go. And again, link in the description if you are interested in the tools that I use when I'm trading. All right, vacuum's going in the background. I'll hit mute on this for a few minutes. I'll be back. All right, so look at that sell-off. We're on the 30-minute candle right now you're looking at. Up in the top, the bottom, down here is a 1-minute candle. That sell-off is looking pretty good. I'm still looking for a short, which might be setting up here in a few minutes. So I thought it was going to go higher. You know, there was that big rejection. I thought it was going to go higher, but that was my subjective viewpoint and my confirmation bias that I went through with you. So another reason why I trade off the probabilities, and that's why I'm green right now. If I was trading off my feelings, I'd be red. I would be big red right now because I would have been long in this trade. But looks like we're running back to the bottom here. I don't know. Is it going to go down there and stay? Is it going to go down there and break? Is it going to bounce and rip higher? I have no idea. All I know is in about a couple minutes when this thing switches to the long side, I'm going to go short and make a whole bunch of money. At least that's the plan. Probabilities say I will. 60% probability says I will. So let's go over to the 1-minute chart now and get ready for this trade, which looks like it's about to set up. It's going to, once it gets switch over here, so basically a move above this. Let's delete that and make a new one. Let's get that short trade ready to go. Yeah, a little light on contracts again today on my trades in the beginning. But at least I was able to recover that and make $500 for the day so far. So 2 more trades now. 2 more winning trades without a loser, and I'll be done for the day. Looks like, where is that? 35, 36. So somewhere around here needs to close above and to trigger the short trade. All right, if it happens, I'll bring it to you. All right, so new 30-minute candle just opened about 2 minutes ago. So I'm going to take you to look at that real quick. So this is what I'm talking about. So we have this new 30-minute candle open. Look how big that red candle is. So looking for a retrace of this candle, trigger my switch, and then I'm going to get short looking for a sell-off. The downside is this candle is so huge that it's going to trigger my switch, and if it wants to retrace the whole thing, I'm going to get stopped out and be waiting for another trade. So that will be a bummer. But let's go back to the 1 minute to get ready for it as it starts retracing that candle. Okay, we got the switch. See if it confirms. I need to get my contracts back. 35 of them. So if I was over in the minis, I would be with 3 contracts right now and I would be light, or I'd be with 4 contracts and I'd be too heavy. So right now the MES is working out great for me to be able to get closer to the right contract size that I need for my risk. I don't like trading with large number of contracts if I don't have to, but since I'm in the sim funded, I'm going to do it this way. If I was in my live account, then I would not be doing it this way. Just the more contracts that I'm trying to get, the more risk of not getting filled where I want to be filled. Trading one contract's way easier to get filled where you want to get filled than to trade 35 or 50 or 100. That's what becomes hard when you get into the live markets, is getting filled where you want to be filled. And that goes for the entry and the exit. All right, let's see if it's gonna just give me a switch before going lower. Just thinking about it. Right now we have this little micro support or resistance area. Should be both support and resistance. When it gets above this and it switches me in, it may be difficult to get back through. The bigger the resistance area builds here before going through, the harder it's going to be to get back through. All right, let's go. All right, switching. What do we got here? 30 seconds. $20 seconds. We'll see if it'll confirm. 10 seconds. 9, 5, 4. Nope, not confirming. 3, 2. Nope. All right, have to wait. Close. Gotta wait for that confirmation. It's gotta be on a switch. I will come back in a minute. All right, so unfortunately, I didn't get a switch that confirmed. Had I gotten that switch, it would have been a nice winner. But I needed to have that. So unfortunately, I didn't get a switch that confirmed. Had had I. I was doing an audio check in the background there, and I forgot to remute that audio check. But yeah, unfortunately, I got a switch in the that confirm or did not confirm, and missed out on a nice winner there. I guess you can't really say I missed out because it never confirmed, but would have been a great trade to have. My trading day today is going to end about 11 a.m. So I got about 45 minutes left to hopefully get a couple more winning trades in. I really want to pass this before rebuild, but my account sits at 153,000 right now. I need 159. So I guess worst case scenario, maybe I make a little bit more money today, maybe I don't. And then I got Thursday, Friday, so maybe I make a couple thousand more, and then I just pass it next week and I get rebuild. But at least I don't have to make that much money to pass it once I'm rebuild. Part of me wants to just go big, just send it and either pass, and if I don't, then I get rebuild, right? So the cost is the same. The difference is it could take a lot longer to pass that next evaluation. I mean, I've been grinding for a month on this one. So do I want to just send it and maybe save $200, or do I want to get rebuild and then not have to make that much money to get through that evaluation and get to a payout? That's the debate in my brain. But right now, I'm just going to stick to the plan. And if I get rebuild, I get rebuild. All right, well, I guess we're just going to sit here and wait for another trade to set up, I guess. Let's look at the 5-minute chart real quick. Big sell-off, man. Just cruising to the downside. Now I'm kind of getting nervous to take a short. My next setup is going to be a short trade. And with this big move to the downside after the move we just had, like that would have been perfect, right? We had this support area, retrace. Where was it? On the 30-minute. Let's go to the 30-minute. We had this support area that it broke through, retraced back up right into that support area, also retracing a 30-minute candle before it, like just perfect setup for a short. And then I didn't get in because I didn't get confirmed. So now we're breaking through this next support area. All right, we've broken all the way through, and now we're getting rejected off of that. So maybe we'll trigger a switch now to the long side, or a switch rather, and I'll be able to take a short for a retest back to the bottom here. Hopefully that's what's about to take place, and we're not just going to find the bottom and rip higher from it like it did yesterday. All right, going over the 1 minute because we might have a switch setting up. All right, move this over here. So where would that be at? It needs to get above 7421.10. All right, so somewhere in there, it needs to get above that. And then that should trigger a trade. While we're waiting on that, let's go look at the 1 hour. See if it shows anything different. I know I'm trading off my strategy and my probabilities, but I do like to look at the charts. It's fun for me, and then trading off of discretion is even more fun. I would like to do that once I start getting some payouts with my funded accounts, is take either one of them or take a new evaluation and just trade off of discretion, because it's way more fun to do that. So the more I look at the charts, the easier it is to trade off of discretion, as long as you remember the bad with the good and not just the good. That's the tricky part. I think a lot of times our brain just remembers the good and doesn't remember the bad. So you think when you see that setup, you're like, oh, this is a great setup, because your brain is not reminding you of all the times it failed, which was more times than it succeeded. So, that does happen. But yeah, and even on the 1 hour, it's really clear to see just poke down below there and not coming back up. So is that a liquidity thing? What's happening there? Like, do you find if you always put your stops just below those support areas, you get stopped and it goes without you? Or if you get in short just below those, then you get hosed as it reverses? I don't think that's an accident. Alright, going back to, that's what they teach everybody to do. Why would they teach you to do that? So is that because then they know where to put their orders so that they can get the best fills when they're doing big contracts? Right? Educate the sheep and then fleece them. Alright, we'll see if it wants to get up here and give me a switch. Which I guess could be good. That switch could take place, put it right back into resistance zone. Let me get short. 35 contracts. Alright, slowly making its way there. With this solid little trend line. So close. Let's see if it wants to do it in the next 10 seconds. No, maybe not. Got 7 minutes before the next 30-minute candle opens. Makes me nervous. Because we've had two really big, three pretty big red candles. So in the next 7, I just hopefully this trade will trigger and get me to target before that next candle opens, the next 30-minute opens. I just don't want to go for the retracement ride. All right, looks like it's coming up short of switching and selling off again. That's too bad. All right, traders, I'm going to step away for a little bit, and then I'll be back once this thing gets a little closer to setting up. All right, so another target hit, but I just couldn't get in because it needed to have a poke above that stick and stay there for a moment, and it didn't do it. So I didn't get in, and now we have another target hit. Look at that. All right, let's see, where's the next one? Still looking for a short, but I don't like it. The more it goes down, the less likely a short's going to be good. 7414. I almost want to just call it a day. Take my money and run. 7414. If I lose on the short, then I would probably make it back on the next long setup. Most likely is what would happen. The downside to it is I'm not going to have the time to take that next long setup. I'm going to be out of here by then. So that's kind of the risk. It's like, should I trade out the day if I can't trade out the day kind of thing? You know, do I take the next trades if I'm not going to have time to see them through? Like, if I have a loser, it's no big deal because the winner's probably following. But if I'm not going to be able to take it, then I end up with a red day. All right, we'll see. I got about half an hour left. So if something sets up soon, I'll take it and hope the next thing will set up right after. And look at this nice classic, right? Support resistance, breaks through, comes back up, tries to retest the area, sells off, breaks through, comes back up, retests the area, sells off, breaks through. It's on its way back up, retesting the area now. It looks like starting to retest the area. Just that classic step down. Hope all of you are making a bunch of money today with the market selling off. Hope nobody's trying to catch a falling knife and taking losses in the process. Although the time to like catch that falling knife might be the time that I get short. It might be good to be long fading me because I feel like my short's going to be a fail. But I'm going to take it. We'll see what happens. All right, making its way back up here. Let's see if we get a switch. Retesting the zone. So Topstep has this indicator down here called the tilt. I'm going to go over there and see what's going on. Right now, NASDAQ 50% long. It looks like the ES is 65% long right now on the ES. Man, I definitely want to be short. I feel like if the herd is long, I should be short. Crude is 70% long, and gold is 55% long. I don't know like what the delay on that is. Was that from an hour ago? Is that current right this second? I don't know. I should ask them on Topstep TV. What's the delay in the tilt? Is that real time? And it's based on their traders. Everybody trading on the Topstep system. So 65% long in the ES right now. All right, going back to my account. I wonder if that 65% will switch to the short side once we get towards the top of this, where I'm looking to get short. I'll pop over there and look at it once I get in. All right, getting closer. I wonder if everybody's kind of just waiting for FOMC. Because the market's not real. I mean, it's just a nice cruising market. It's got a pretty defined downward channel right now. It's not throwing some big volatility. All right, about to get short 35 contracts in the MES. No, rejecting. Yeah, I'm so tempted to skip this trade. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to trade the numbers. Just got to trade the numbers like a salesperson. Just got to get them numbers in. At the end of the month, you can get paid. Because you're going to get messed up, rejected on most of them, right? Just keep on going. There it goes. Just barely crossed my line to get in. Now it's going to sell off and hit the target again. Hope not. Hope it gets me in first. Nope. All right, maybe it is. There's your new trend. Yep, there it goes down to the downside. Where are you going, ES? Pick me up first. So this is what happens, right, traders? Like, you see this happening over and over and over again. Here, I'll draw another line here. You see this happening over and over again. And you're like, it broke, I should just get in. I should just get in. Stop waiting for my strategy to set up. Just get in short, go for the ride to the downside, make a whole bunch of money, and just be chilling for the rest of the day. And then I'll get in short because that's what my brain's telling me to do because I've been watching it all morning go without me. And that's when it'll rip higher. That's kind of how the market works. Like, you're not in yet. It's like that bug zapper. Just keeps on luring you in. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait for my setup. If I'm going to fail, I want it to be because the setup failed. My strategy failed. Because then it's really easy to look at that failure in the strategy and, make adjustments for the next go around. But if I'm trading my strategy and I'm trading casino trades in the middle of it, it doesn't really give me good data. And then I don't want to fail because of me, because I was dumb trading and just casino trading and being FOMO'd and all that stuff. I want to fail because the strategy that I know works stopped working. That's how I want to fail. Because in a way, I didn't fail at that point. I did everything right. The strategy is what just stopped working. Now, if this is my live account, I'm tracking my strategy very closely. And as soon as it falls below a certain threshold, then I have to hit stop on that, go into trader rehab, figure it out, and come back out. I don't want to blow up those accounts. My personal accounts are definitely not going to blow those up. I'm going to be really cautious. As soon as things start to go the wrong direction with the strategy, then I'm going to stop using the same tools that I talked to you about before. I have a tracker in there so I can track what's going on. There's another third-party tracker that I use because when you're in the prop firm, at least with Topstep, like if I want the data that I'm getting from my evaluation accounts, I won't have it. Like, once I pass the evaluation, it seems like that data goes away in Topstep X. And then once I'm in a funded account, I have that data. And then once I go live, I'm assuming I haven't done it with Topstep X yet, but when I used to trade with NinjaTrader, then that data would be gone. So if I want to keep that data, I got to use a third-party tracker. Link in the description, so that I can have that to help better hone and refine what's going on. All right, looks like we're going back down. All right, traders, I'm going to take a break, go make some breakfast, and then I'll be back if this thing wants to give me a switch. All right, so I was right again. Like I said, I really want to get in short here, but I can't. And I hope you all are making a bunch of money to the short side, because I just hit that target again. So what is it going to do? I'm even more tempted now to skip a short trade when it sets up. Just because, I mean, how many of these are going to happen, right? It can't go on forever. So if I'm lucky, what will happen is my short trade will set up, and then it'll retrace back into support. Right, like it'll bounce, it'll give me my setup, it'll come back down, and then it'll rip higher from there. I just got to be really careful with my short trade that I take, making sure that I move my stop to break even at the right time and all that stuff. And then I capture. I might not even try to squeeze more out. I might just look to leave my limit order there to get out. Because that sooner or later, it's going to find a bottom. It's going to bounce a little bit on the bottom and rip higher, or it's just going to rip off the bottom higher. All right, we'll see when the next switch happens, and then I'll come back. All right, so this is starting to look different. This is starting to look different than what we've been seeing before, right? We're starting to flatten out here. Before it was all these sharp, very defined moves. Now we're flattening out. So could be putting a base in for a move higher, or at least an attempted move higher, which will trigger me to get short. And then I'm hoping that, you know, my short plays out in that consolidation as it's waiting to make a move. Whoa, we'll have to see how it all lines up. Well, we're getting close. All right, so I'm going to put another drawing on here. Short. Man, I don't want to get short. All right, 406, 407. If I can at least make 1-to-1 on this short trade, then at least have a winner that pays for the losers. So it's all good. Okay, looks like we might have a setup here. Getting ready to have a switch in the bottom. So on the strategy video that I made, traders, when I'm not, like when I got my little thing saying I'll be back in a few minutes, if you're looking at the charts, you can see when I'm going to probably be back on. I may be back on in between just to talk about stuff. But you can see where my switch is setting up there. I got 12 seconds. And then you'll know what I'm getting ready to do based on that video. All right, 12 seconds, getting short. And 4, 3, is it going to confirm? 2, no, didn't confirm. All right, we're still waiting. Still waiting. But yeah, if you watch that video, you'll know exactly what I'm doing here when you're looking at my charts and my indicator and all that stuff. Yeah, definitely building this little base here. What do we got? 7 minutes for the new 30 and the new 1 hour candle opens. Really don't want to be in this trade. But I have to trade the numbers. 30 seconds, going to get short. Because once all those, the new 1 hour and the new 30 open, well, actually, if the new 30 opens, it retraces to the short side. So that's a good thing for me. The 1 hour, which is also opening, the retrace is going to be to the long side. So there's some conflict there. All right, we got 10 seconds. Five seconds. Nope, it's not confirming. 3 seconds. 2, 1, confirmed. We're in short. Let's mark this up quickly. $7.14 is a stop. Whoa, too many contracts. I should have did the math first. I just assumed it was going to be like the rest of the day. All right, we're going to start taking out some contracts here. Let's go with 10 and buy.
Order filled.
All right, so we just bought 10 out in profit. Now I'm back to the risk I should be at. All right, 14, a little bit more. There you go, 14.75. Would much rather have that be higher up, but that's where it's supposed to be. Target is 395. So I'm risking one to make 1.5 roughly. So with that little, I just pulled out, that gave me an extra 55 bucks roughly. All right, here we go. So once we get past 74015, I should be about risking one to make one. I can start taking profit after that. Good thing is my target is back at the bottom of this. So once it gets close to the bottom of this, I will take that profit off. Not going to get greedy on this one, traders. This does look like a base that's putting in for a bigger move to the upside. All right, here we go. I might move my stop to break even plus a couple bucks. I'm going to do it a little bit early. I'm not supposed to do it until it gets about somewhere down in here, but I'm going to do it early because of I do feel like this is putting a base for a change in trend, changing to the upside. Based on what I just told you about how all those were sharp and now we're flat down here. Tempted just to take this off and call it a green day. Because I got to leave here in 5 minutes. Yeah, I might just take this off. Let's move the stop to break even, or not break even. Let me capture a risk one to make one on it.
Order filled.
So I'm just going to take it there. I have to leave in 5 minutes. This may come down and hit the target, but if it doesn't, then it's going to be in limbo. At least I made my risk, so at least I have a winner to pay for my loser. And that is going to put me up on the day $1,228. So pretty sweet. I'll take it. And that moves my account to, man, I would love to have another $300 in my account. $153,729. I'd like that to say 154 or 154.5 even. Look, there it's going to come down and hit my target. All right, I just don't have the time. The clock ran out on me today. So let's go look at the stats. That's too bad. All right, so over here we got the account showing 3,729. I'm not in buffer yet, so as far as I'm concerned, it's still a 0. Once I get above 154.5, then I'll be in buffer. But right now, it's still 0 as far as I'm concerned. And then we'll scroll down. Now this chart's going the right direction. You can see my best day, the weakest day, average winning trade, average losing trade. Starting to shrink that a little bit. Still got to get a higher best trade to counteract that worst trade. And there we go. See all the numbers. And then here's my checkerboard calendar. Ugly. And so far on the week, up 2,357. All right, we'll see. We got 2 days left. Can I make, what do I need to make? Like $5,300 in 2 days? I guess that's very doable. If I'm risking, basically one trade, I can make almost $2,000. Say 1,500. The next trade I make another 1,500. There's $3,000 right there. That would put me at 6 and change. And then the next day, if I did the same thing, I'm good to go. So, yeah, it's still very possible as long as I don't have any red days. Yesterday was technically a red day. I was green, so that worked out. So yeah, I guess I might be able to make it. If not, I'll rebill and have to make like what, $1,000 or something. All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next trade tomorrow morning, 9:30.